We on?
Yes, yes, y'all. You know what it is. We back with. I had this shit.
Whoa, 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 whoa. What? You was for the code 16?
I
You
was
was for the
finna
code
go, bro.
16?
It's in honor of God did.
God did.
I was trying to make my contribution to the culture.
God did.
Yeah, God did.
Ooh, man. Hey, first of all, I just want to say, this is episode 52.
52 in this joint.
52, 52, number
Yeah,
52. That's a good number. A good player on the Bears was 52. I can't think of who it is right
you
now.
know I don't know the numbers, bro. So
But episode 52, 52.
52, 52. Yeah,
Some of this, some of that podcast. We're back. This is a good old Monday. A rainy Monday earlier.
yeah. It was
It
kind of
was
rainy. Yeah,
Yeah, it was bad outside. I know it was bad because my dog he didn't even want to go out. He was
yeah,
like, my dog literally looked at me like, "Hey, homie, I'm gonna
yeah.
wait this shit out.
Dogs.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna wait
most
this shit out."
dogs they ain't feeling the rain. My
No,
cat,
they ain't
she
feeling it.
don't care. She just
They,
she still slept the whole day. Now she's just sitting on my foot
yeah,
now. So
my cat did the same thing. Slept the whole day, unbothered.
yeah, cats are the most unbothered creatures on earth.
Yes, unbothered. But
Yeah,
anyway, I'm Coach Mo. We got Latisse over there, and
yeah, yeah.
she's she was about to drop a 16, hot 16.
I got y'all next week for real though. I'm gonna stop playing with y'all. I'm gonna stop playing
Listen,
because
I want my homies who listen to this podcast make beats. Drop Latissa a beat in her email.
what I need.
Give
Yeah,
her a little beat. She need a beat. She gonna drop 16 for the listeners.
yeah. Y'all do that. Y'all do that for me.
I'm gonna be her hype man. I'm gonna be a hype man. I'm gonna be like Spliff.
That's what brothers are for, to be the hype, to be the hype person.
Right. You bust, I'm Spliff. I'm gonna
like
be.
I like it. I got it.
Yeah,
I got
that's
it.
how I'm gonna be. I'm
I
gonna
got
be
you,
just
bro. Episode
what?
53 is gonna be, yeah. Y'all finna be
Yeah, 53 for the be lit. For
it's
the
gonna
be
be
lit.
lit. Just letting y'all know. Yo,
What you do over the weekend?
you know what? I had a pretty low key weekend. I pretty much kicked it with family. What else did I do? We did our Sunday dinner on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I didn't hang out. But this week, I'm doing a lot of hanging out this week. So I'm
Oh, you
looking
got
forward to
plans? You
that.
got plans?
Yeah, I got plans. I got plans like all week because it's birthday season for a lot of my friends. So
September. Yeah.
September, yeah. We got our little draft party.
Yeah,
We
we
got
got
our draft party, and
our
then
party tomorrow.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then this weekend, like I said, one of my one of my good friends. Oh, y'all know Kaya. She was here a couple weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
She's 40.
Shout out
Happy
to
birthday,
Kaya.
Kaya, early. So we celebrating her all weekend. So you know how she do.
Yeah, because what day her birthday?
Her birthday is on the 6th.
So y'all gonna celebrate this weekend?
Yeah, so Saturday and Sunday.
Let
So
me know.
far, she got
Let
some
me
stuff.
know. I'm crashing. Let me know where y'all gonna be. I'm crashing.
Yeah, I'm surprised she ain't sent it to you.
I'm
She
gonna
probably,
crash.
she last minute, so she might be sending you something soon.
That's cool. I'll show up. I'll
Yeah,
show up.
so I'm looking forward to this weekend, hanging out and getting out the house and
Hmm.
partaking in some, some nice adult festivities.
Well, that's what you're supposed to do, especially as a
Yeah,
single lady.
yeah, I work hard. I deserve that.
He said, "I deserve."
I
Hey,
deserve.
God did.
God did. I'm gonna be saying that for like, bro. I'm gonna be saying that till I don't
I
even.
ain't stopped all
Yeah,
weekend. Been saying
God
that.
did.
I've
Yeah,
been
we
saying,
gonna get into that after you tell us about your weekend. How was your weekend?
shoot, my weekend, man. Look, it was busy, especially on Saturday morning. Then, but I have to admit, Tease, it
Mhm.
was only busy for one day because Saturday evening when I got home from getting my haircut and stuff, I slept until Sunday. I
I ain't
overslept.
mad at you, bro.
I overslept on Sunday because I was supposed to get up and go to church,
Yeah.
visit my mom, but I
He
overslept. You know what though? I ain't gonna lie. That's some of the best sleep I had in a long time.
You probably need it, bro. You probably
I feel
needed it.
like I did. I feel like I did because I literally didn't get up. You know how
Mhm,
usually like when you sleep, you get up in the middle of the night, go use the bathroom, get some water,
mhm.
something. Tease. I slept from like 8 o'clock that night to like 5 in the morning.
That's good.
That's crazy though. That's a lot of sleep.
Yeah, but sometimes, bro, when especially when we be on like autopilot, you know what I'm saying? Especially when you
Yeah,
got kids and stuff.
yeah,
So I think that's good. Every once in a while, you do need like a good sleep like that. I feel like I don't really see. I have not slept that like got like a full like 8 hours or even like a full 6 hours. I don't know how long.
yeah,
My
yeah.
my sleep is so broken up. Like I can't sleep for long periods. Like I go to sleep, I can go to sleep at like 11 and then I'll sleep till like 1. Then I'll wake up. Then I'm up for a couple hours. Then I fall asleep for about 3. Then I wake up about 5 and then I stay up for about an hour. Then I go to sleep like about 7 and I wake back up like around 8. So
So you don't sleep through.
I haven't slept through in a long time. You know, the only time I really sleep through, to be honest, is if I have an edible.
Okay, okay
If I
then.
do an edible or if like I've had a lot to drink. If I had a lot to drink, then yeah, I could sleep straight. But if
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
if I don't have anything to help me, yeah, I don't. But somebody told me about some tea, like some like soothing tea, like some lavender. I think it's lavender they told me
We
about.
got that. We got
Yeah, that I should
yeah,
start drinking it at night so I can help
yeah.
help me sleep better. So
Because it's got that ingredient that
it's natural too.
it's got that, what is it that you give? We used to give it to our kids. The
I know what you're talking about.
you know what I'm talking about. It help them sleep. Oh
Yeah, yeah,
man,
yeah.
I
I know what
can't
you're
think.
talking about. I can't think of the word because I used to give it to my cat when she
Okay,
when I first got her, and she used to be so like jumpy when I would be on the phone for like
yeah,
work and stuff. So yeah, which I know exactly what you're talking about. I can't think of the name right
I
now.
can't think of the name of it, but yeah, and I know that tea we use it because Samira, she uses it, and then there's another thing like that's like bath salt that you use that has that same uh, ingredient in it. When you take a bath, you put the little bubbles. It's like bubbles, but
Okay.
you take a bath in it. But what it does, it has this stuff that it releases on you, and it
Mhm.
helps you relax, and it helps you sleep better.
Okay.
But it's good. Like I didn't believe in it. I didn't
No, it
believe in it,
does. It
but
does.
I
I mean,
used
that's why
it. I
you
used
think look at the baby like the baby stuff, bro. And like
it.
some of the nighttime stuff, it has like lavender and that kind of stuff in it. That smell is supposed to be kind of like a sedative, like to help soothe people
So
to go them to sleep naturally. So
yeah, because
I'm
I was like, you know what? I don't need to be trying to drink no tequila to help me sleep better, man. Because
yeah, that could go bad.
it go real bad.
Yeah, you don't want to get used to drinking like I
Hell,
said, you don't want to get used to drinking alcohol like, and that's your reason for
hell no, I don't.
uh sleeping good. So yeah, I feel you.
I know on Friday, because my wife Samara was off, so Friday we kicked it with two of her homies came over here. So
Okay.
we was in the back kicking it, drinking. Man, we was doing shots. Friday was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
A lot of fun on Friday. But like I said, I slept Saturday, Sunday. I woke up. After I woke up at 5, I went back to sleep. I slept till about 11.
Mhm.
I was like, you know what? I got no sleep for probably the last 6 months.
You
For
say
real.
that now, bro. It's finna be busy season for you, so we'll see.
And that's the thing, Tease, because when the basketball season start, I don't get much sleep at all.
Yeah, yeah, and it's right around the corner. So,
Right around the corner. It's right around the corner. I don't get much
have
sleep.
y'all started practicing, bro?
No, we can't officially practice until November.
Okay,
So what we do now, we just have conditioning and
okay,
open gyms. But that's
okay.
it. Yeah. But football season is in effect. That's
Yeah, preseason. Bears just did good this weekend.
Bears probably played the best game I've seen from them in like 2 years.
Really? Now, you the professional sports person here. So when you think so now, is it overhyped, bro? As far as like Justin Fields this past weekend, because I've been seeing a lot of like Justin Fields love. So
Listen, all I'm gonna say is this: if you're a Bears fan or if you really like Justin Fields, you are encouraged and hopeful from what you saw last week because he really looked good. He really looked comfortable. He looked good throwing the football. He looked good making decisions.
mhm.
But at the same time, I have to say that let's just keep an even um, calm about this. That was a preseason game.
Okay.
Preseason games, you really don't get everyone's best effort. You're not always going against the best players in the preseason. So, but again, it's encouraging. The Bears won. Justin Fields threw 3 touchdowns. He actually played pretty good all preseason. But we'll see in another week on September 11th.
Mhm.
We'll see the real deal because then he'll be playing against a team with a really good defense, a team with a really good run game against our defense.
Yeah.
So we'll see because I'm one of those people. I don't think the Bears are going to make the playoffs. I don't think the Bears are the worst team in the NFL either. We're
Okay.
not. We're not the Houston Texans.
Okay.
We definitely ain't the Seattle Seahawks. They're terrible.
Mhm.
They're
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah.
But I just don't
How
think
has Russ' new team? How are they looking preseason?
I picked
Yeah.
Denver to win that division.
Okay. So they've been looking pretty good so far.
I think what they needed, what Denver to me, what Denver always needed is what they got in Russ, a quarterback.
Okay. Okay.
That's what I always thought they needed. So
Okay.
I
We
picked them
shall
to win the
see.
West. I picked them to win that division. Matter of fact, I told somebody I was going to get my predictions on the show, so I'm glad we're talking about it.
Mhm.
I in the NFC North division with the Bears, I picked Green Bay to win that division,
Okay.
but but I don't pick Green Bay to like blow through the division like they have been over the years. I think Green Bay is going to be a 9-win team, maybe 10-win team, but they're going to win the division.
Okay.
For the NFC East, I picked the Philadelphia Eagles to win that division. NFC West, I picked the Rams to win that division, the defending champs. They
Mhm.
brought, they brought everybody back. Matt Stafford
Okay.
is getting healthy, so I picked them to win that division. For the AFC, this is to me the best conference in football in the NFL. So in the AFC East, I picked the Buffalo Bills, who I also picked to go to the Super Bowl. Buffalo Bills.
Okay.
I forgot the NFC South. Can't forget the GOAT. I picked Tampa Bay to win that division too because they got the GOAT coming back. I forgot about the NFC South.
Okay.
Can't forget about them. But the AFC East, I picked Buffalo. AFC North, which I think is going to be a division where all those teams are going to beat each other up. I picked the Baltimore Ravens. Lamar Jackson is about to have a hell of a year. I picked Lamar to win the MVP because he won his money. And I
Mhm.
think Lamar is about to go off this year.
He got a he got a he damn near got to though, bro. You know,
Yep.
'cause I know he was injured like last year, and
Yep.
you know, so he gotta he damn near gotta go off.
Yep.
So
I think he tired of the disrespect. I
yeah,
think he's about to go off.
put some respect on that young man name.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
The AFC West, I picked, like I said, I picked the Denver Broncos to win that division. That's
Okay.
probably going to be the best division in football because
Mhm.
they got some great quarterbacks in that division. You got Russ with Denver. You got my man, what's my man, Pat Mahomes with Kansas City.
Mhm.
You got the young boy with the Chargers.
Mhm.
And then you got the Raiders with, what's his name? Can't think of his name right now. But you got him with a new coach. So, but I still think Denver with that defense that they got, and with Russ being the X factor, so to speak, they'll win that division. And then the AFC South, which
Okay.
is probably the worst division in the AFC. I picked the Tennessee Titans to win that division again. But I think the Indianapolis Colts are going to surprise some people, and they're going to make the playoffs. They might be a wild card. So those are my predictions. We'll see what happens. Football right around the corner. Fantasy football. Looking
Yeah.
forward to it. You know that we always do that every year. How many
Yeah.
leagues you in this year?
I'm only in two. I'm only in two. I usually do yours, and then I do my family one. And well, I guess yeah, I'm only in two fantasy leagues, and then we do the confidence pool too. So,
Okay.
I'm just doing that. But it's so funny. Like I got into like the fantasy because this was like probably a little bit over 10 years ago, maybe 10 years ago exactly, or a little bit less than 10 years, where I didn't know a lot about football. And then
Mm-hmm.
one of my guy friends was like, if he's like, you just gotta watch it. And he said, you know what, get into the get into like a fantasy league and
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
make you watch it and that's gonna make you pay attention to the players and that's gonna make you uh learn it. And he was right. He
yeah.
was absolutely right. And so I got into that league after that. I think I've been in the league every year. So
Okay, okay.
yeah, so it's been fun.
Yeah, I look forward to it
Fun.
every year. It'd be fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I
Uh,
think I won 1 year accidentally. So yeah, yeah, I was it was I like it. I like the camaraderie. Like I said, it does for people that, don't know a lot about football. I think it's a good start for you to, start there because that way you get to be familiar with the positions and the
True
players
that.
in the
True.
positions, and then when you're watching, I still have a lot of questions for some stuff, but I get to play dumb. Like if I'm
Yeah.
hanging out with a guy, I'd be like, "What is that? Is that a touchdown?
But but you know, T,
What is third and down? What is that?"
even even though even though you say you get to play dumb, but
Mhm.
you do know what's going on though. So
I do know
a,
what's going on.
a
It's just
guy a guy
it's
can
just
bring you to a bar, or
yeah,
bring you to like an actual like a football event with his homies, and y'all can actually like you can watch the game because
for
you know.
sure. Yeah, I'm not that dumb. So I'm joking like I do play it dumb, but you know what throws me off is some penalties.
Okay.
That's what I'll be like, yeah, I don't know what happened there.
Okay. Okay.
Those penalties, and that's when I get confused. It's funny, like, because I did, like, I had dated a couple football players, so I should know more than I do.
Yeah,
But
you should
yeah, I don't know. But
leave them basketball players alone.
I ain't really, you know what? I don't even think I dated. I'm trying to see. Not for real. I definitely, like I said, I have my share of football players, but I feel
Y'all
like
heard that? She had that shit, y'all. Y'all heard
I
that?
mean it's a small share, like a little piece of the pie,
Oh,
little piece of the pie.
piece of pie.
No, I don't think I've dated a basketball player. So why somebody listening gonna be like, "Oh yeah, really? You
Yeah, you
didn't?"
know somebody gonna comment. Yeah, you know it.
Somebody gonna text me like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
so we didn't date." Oh, you know what? I forgot. So I don't think so though. I don't remember dating
Yeah.
anyone that play basketball.
Teach you look like you should date a wrestler.
Hmm. Oh, did I?
That can go many ways, but I mean,
Yeah.
you know,
Wrestle like like when you look like R. Kelly. When you say wrestling, when you say wrestling, what you mean when you say wrestling?
you say
But you know what?
about how many we talk.
Usually though, bro, like a lot of football players though, like a lot of them do play two sports. Like some of
Yeah,
them, as long as like they're off season, like I know football players that used to run track, and I
yeah,
know football players used to play baseball too. So
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So you can, but I don't think I dated a wrestler. But that should be that sounds fun though.
Put that on your bucket list for 2023.
Yes.
You're
Yeah.
a freestyle wrestler.
Show you're right.
Show you right.
Yeah. Yeah, show you're right.
God did.
God did. That's why, hey, when I come back next year, we'll
Ooh.
come back next year after I knock it off my list, I'm gonna be like, God did, bro.
And I want Tease to win, but God did.
I can't. We're not finna even try to
Oh
show off
man.
like this,
Hey
bro.
man, let's just talk about it since we cracking jokes. Did you like the song?
So I did.
Okay.
I did. I liked it. I'm not I'm not like a whole fanatic. Like
Mhm.
when I was listening to rap, I do think that Jay was definitely probably one of my favorite rappers at that
Mhm.
time. So I just think I don't think his verse was good, but I'm not versed enough in hip hop to be like that was his best, was worst, whatever. I thought
Yeah.
it was good. I thought it was good. I thought it was a solid Jay-Z verse. Like I don't it's very rare that he doesn't, come with it. So I think people just be so excited to hear from him because he's older now and he don't, what I'm saying, he ain't rapping.
Uh,
I'm saying so when he do drop something, people go crazy. So
yeah.
I think it was good, but I know you're gonna disagree, but I thought Lil Wayne verse was good too.
I'm not gonna disagree.
Yeah, I thought Wayne
You'll be
verse.
surprised my take on this.
Oh well, yeah. I can, I know you enough to know probably where you feel about it, but what was your initial thoughts?
First of all, I think that like honestly, I listened to the song all weekend.
Hmm.
I've heard the song at least over 20 times now.
Okay.
It's a really, really good song.
Okay.
It's put together really well. It's damn near. I don't know. It's damn near inspiring. The
Hmm.
song because of what they talking about and um. First of all, Rick Ross to me, I thought he had a good verse.
He did.
Some people didn't like it. I thought his
Mhm.
verse was really good.
Mhm.
I thought Wayne had a very, very good verse.
Okay.
I love Wayne's verse.
Yeah.
Um, Now I know everybody was talking about Jay's verse.
Mhm.
Here's the thing for me. I love Jay verse because it ain't so much because it was 8 minutes. It's because when he does rap and get on a song, you can tell that Jay knows what's going on in the world.
Yeah.
He knows who's been talking shit about him and his wife. He knows who's been talking shit about his business.
Yeah.
And you can tell when Jay has something to say.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna say he pissed off because I don't
He's
think I don't think
because
billionaires
he's
get
like
pissed off.
it's just because you don't hear him and don't think
Yeah,
he's paying attention. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? That's
He's
basically what I felt
he's
like he
paying
was
attention.
letting y'all know I
Paying
hear
attention.
everything. Yeah.
In that verse, you could tell he's paying attention. Like the part about Meek Mill. Now that
Mhm.
just came out a couple weeks ago that Meek Mill left
Yeah. So I feel like he did just not wrote. He just not did this.
which 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 happens a lot with Jay
Yeah.
Z when he gets on features.
Yeah.
You can kind of tell. All right, he just did this.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell. You could just because even with the Drake when he was on the Drake feature on Drake's last album, you could tell that's kind of new because of
Yeah.
what he was talking about.
Yeah.
Uh, Listen, I know people don't really like Jay Z fans. I get it. It's part of that. It's part of the whole deal. But bottom line is, at his age, he still can rap.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it don't sound like it don't sound like he's getting outdated.
No, he don't. He don't.
You know what I'm saying?
He
Uh,
don't.
Now, as far as the Khaled album, it was decent.
Yeah. It's not bad.
It's not bad. But like I was telling people, I would be fine if I never hear a Khaled album again.
And
It's
why?
not. It's not because I don't think Khaled is talented. It's just that it's gonna be the same type of album, the
Yeah.
same arrangements, the
Yeah.
same features.
Yeah.
He always had the same people on there. It's the
Yeah.
same arrangement,
Yeah.
and to me, it does sound the same.
Yeah, I
But
agree, I agree with you though. I
but he
like
has
it, but like
fans,
you said, he don't really he hasn't really to me he hasn't really evolved musically. So
and that's fine. He has Khaled's doing great. He
yeah,
got a big following. He got a huge brand, and that's and ain't nothing wrong with that.
yeah.
He's just ad libs just kill me all the time. Like he'll
We
he'll wear,
best.
he'll wear that shit out.
Yeah,
But that's
yeah,
what he do. He's a great marketer.
he
He
is.
knows what to do.
He's a great motivator. So
He is a great motivator. He's a very good motivator. I give him credit. I follow him on Snapchat, and
yeah,
he says some funny shit, but he really does motivate you to like be better with your life. Like Puffy the same way.
true,
Like
true
when
that.
Diddy be talking, I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes Diddy fires me up. Like he
Yeah,
be talking like about motivation and get out here and do it. Like do
yeah,
it your like it pumps me up. But
yeah,
um just going back to the song God did. The song was dope.
yeah,
The chorus, the hooks, and then John Legend just came through
yeah,
and took everybody to church.
yeah, yeah. It was good.
It was a good song, real good
It was
song.
good. Well, bro, I don't want to prolong you. I don't want to interrupt you, but we do have a guest today and
Okay,
she's here. So before we go any deeper to the show, I'm going to bring her on
all right.
and then we'll get back to that nonsense later.
Hello.
Whoa,
Hello.
whoa, welcome.
Hi.
How are
What's up,
you?
I
Jamie?
was over here nodding like, "Yup, I love me some Jay, love me some Jay."
You know, I had to cut my brother off because he'll go for another 10 minutes, you know, talking about Jay-Z. I was like, you know what, we got to guess. You got to shut up about
Oh,
Jay.
I'm passionate. I'm passionate. Okay,
Oh, that's what it called.
right,
It's
right,
called
right,
passion.
right.
I'm passionate.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha.
wait.
Guys,
Let me introduce our guest properly.
please don't read my bio like you
No,
know.
no, no. This is freestyle for me. This is freestyle for me.
Good, thank you.
Listen, uh, listeners, we have a special guest tonight. This is one of my homies from back in college in the early 2000s when we met. She was a great homie, great friend. She was always around me and the guys. She was always lending a helping hand, always giving us words of encouragement. And she'd cuss us out every now and then, but
As
she
she
was
should.
she was a great
They needed it. It was
she's a great friend. But we brought her on here because I feel like people need to hear from her because she's not only like a dope person, but she has a great story and she's an author. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this is my homie Jamie Gill.
Ah,
Um, real quick. She's from she's from the great state of Illinois. Okay, but
Mhm.
however, she decided to take her talents to Daytona.
but I'll be back in Chicago on Thursday, so that's all that matters.
Okay, all right,
Nice.
okay. Jamie, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Coach. It's
Um,
so dope to be here. I am a fan of the show. So it feels good to be able to be on the other side of the microphone today. So thank you. I love what you're
we
doing.
definitely appreciate you coming.
Appreciate you for coming.
Yeah.
Anytime.
So, what I want to get into first, let's talk about like your background, where you're from, high school,
Okay.
and college, and then what you're doing right now.
All right. Well, long story short, I am the youngest of 4 children. My siblings are 8, 10, and 15 years older than me. So I am the baby show enough. And I remind them of that on a very regular basis. I am originally I was born and raised in Markham, Illinois, which is a south suburb of Chicago. But that whole south suburb area, Homewood, Flossmoor, Country Club Hills, like all of that is truly my stomping ground. I
Mhm.
graduated from Rich Central High School in 1957, the school that no longer exists. The building does, but I guess they changed their mascot and the whole district has changed, which is
Okay.
weird. I feel like a piece of me died when that left. Graduated with a tennis scholarship and academic scholarship to Prairie State College. I was on one of the first tennis team at Prairie State College.
Mhm.
We were the Lady Pioneers, and so that's a pretty dope part of history to know that I was one of the first on the tennis team, especially being, a girl of melanin magic, So that's a dope part of my story. Left there and wanted to continue my tennis pursuits because I thought I was dope, but I was coming for Serena and Venus.
All right. All right.
And it led me to Lewis University in Romeoville, Illinois, of all places in the world. And but I wouldn't change it for the world. I was not only able to meet Coach, but some just amazing people. They say the people that you meet in college are friends for life, and I truly, truly, truly believe that. And I played tennis for a little while in college. I technically still have 1 year of college tennis eligibility. So, I'm over 40. I still be thinking about it. I still be thinking about it. But I majored in multimedia production, and I had an amazing opportunity to do what I love for over 25 years. I was a television producer for New Faith Baptist Church
Nice.
for a very long time. Had a dope opportunity to do some amazing production work with for MC Light, Russell Simmons, American Cancer Society, NAACP. And so when they say God your gifts make room for you, I can definitely attest to that because some of the opportunities that I have had, I'm like, me? For real? Like,
Yeah.
So I'm very grateful. I moved to Daytona Beach, Florida 5 years ago, very unexpectedly. My mom was tired of living in the cold. She was tired of falling on black ice. And my dad at the time was on what I called the hospital tour. And so I wanted to come down and help my sister with him. And it was probably one of the best decisions in my life that I didn't know at the time because I ended up being present for the last 2 years of my dad's life. And that's still weird, to have your daddy around. But Daytona's different than Chicago.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure.
But it's dope. Like the weather's great, and I like to get to know the Jamie version in Florida, because when you move cities, you have to be a different person because it just requires something differently out of you. So I'm the same girl, but you know, it requires some change in you. So I'm grateful for the opportunity to grow and to learn more
Yes.
about myself
Yeah.
being down here.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
So,
me in a nutshell.
so before we get into you being a dope author, now Latisse, now she's been in Florida for quite some time, right? She actually survived the hurricane. So,
Mm.
Jamie, tell the people about the name of the hurricane and how was that experience?
So I moved down here May 2017, and Florida's largest hurricane in like over 20 years came in July, August. Irma.
Yeah, see, I would have been back home.
I was like, so my sister's been down here for 30 years plus. So I'm like, oh well, she was always fine. So I'm sure it's nothing. Well, my sister always lived a little bit more inland in a city called Deltona.
Okay.
Well, I am literally 10 minutes from the ocean.
Oh
Oh,
no.
oh,
So you go to the grocery store, there's no toilet paper, there's no water, there's like people are frantic down here.
Mhm.
mhm.
So, my mom and I know snow. We know
Right,
snow. And
right.
so at the time I was a server at Applebee's at the time when I first moved down here. And so my coworkers are teaching like, okay, this is what you do. Do you have a cell phone? Get you a bottle. I'm about to actually show you guys live. So you guys get to have a hurricane survival trick
Oh
live.
wow. Okay.
So you turn your flashlight on your phone,
Hmm.
get you a water bottle. It becomes a lantern.
Okay.
Wow.
Bad, right?
Okay.
Survive, survive.
Survival tips. Your
For
washing
sure.
machine becomes a cooler. You fill it up with
Okay.
ice. It holds your meat. It holds your beverages. You fill your bathtub up with water. Like, I mean, just it was a lot of cool, end of the world survival tricks.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
it was scary. It was because you kind of know when the storm is coming, kind of, and so
Hmm.
you keep your news on as long as you possibly can. You make sure your car is filled up with gas. I mean, because gas stations were running out of gas. People kept saying, "Y'all need to leave town," but we didn't know, like, where do you
I was
go?
gonna say, did you think about like at that time, like going back home or going like further inland or?
But where? We had just moved here. We ain't got no money. We just spent it all moved here.
Uh-huh.
It was we had a lot of people, like we have a lot of family and friends like come to Atlanta. We have people talking about come to the Carolinas. We have friends in other parts of Florida like come here. Well, my mom and I was like, well, I don't think the Lord sent us here to kill us, so we just
Yeah.
and so when we that day, I'll never forget it. It got eerily quiet. They talk about
Mm,
the calm before the storm. It got
hmm
eerily quiet.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden we heard this sound that sounded like a train. So me and my mom are like running to the bathroom because we don't know what's ready to happen. A tornado actually came before the hurricane hit.
Wow.
Whoa.
Before the
Yeah.
hurricane hit. And so I live very close to a hospital. And so we're thinking, oh, we'll be fine. Well, y'all, it was scary. I live in an apartment complex. And so I live on the second floor. So I was safe as far as, feeling like I was going to be flooded out. I
Yeah.
sent out a couple sandbags because you don't know. You don't know. And so we were without electricity for a week.
Oh
Um,
gosh.
and
Oh Lord have mercy.
my mom, being, the adventurous woman she is, she decided to get pneumonia right before the hurricane.
Oh,
So
Oh man.
it was crazy. It was crazy, but we survived. We
yeah.
lived.
You live. You still
Learned.
here.
I learned in that is that Floridians don't get crazy about hurricanes. It's the people that's not originally from Florida. They get
Mhm.
crazy about
Yeah.
hurricanes. And
Yeah.
so, Floridians, they're like, whatever, we're fine, we're not going anywhere. And
Mhm.
everywhere that people were telling us to come, like Atlanta, the Carolinas, they got hit worse than we did.
Mm.
Oh, okay.
So I
That's
was glad,
crazy.
so I was glad we didn't go anywhere.
Yeah. I have family in Louisiana, so I hear the hurricane stories, and they've gone through some big ones too.
Yeah.
So when you said it's like the calm before the storm, they always say that it's like super quiet, and then next thing you
Creepy.
know, it sounds like trains coming over your house. Yeah,
Mhm. It's
yeah.
super creepy. And then you really don't know because it's raining and it's windy and stuff is blowing and I'm from Chicago. You know, you always slightly nosy when you're from Chicago. So, you know, I'm like
Right.
looking out the window, trying to see what happened. But it was
Yeah.
kind of, I don't know, the adventure girl in me kind of enjoyed going out afterwards because I wanted to see the effects of a hurricane. And so you to
Mhm.
see how it like damages buildings and
Yeah.
literally moves cars. And, you know, so it was, I'm grateful to still be alive to tell the story. That's all I'm going to say.
Sure.
Well, we're glad you're still here. You and your mom. And we're glad you're still here.
Definitely.
Um, so let's get into this book, okay? Because you know,
My babies.
a lot of people might not know, but I've always known you to be very um, open, storytelling.
Mhm.
So I know this isn't your first book. I know that this isn't your first book. So let's talk about the book. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. See, I know.
Yes.
Pick a book, any book, pick a book. No.
So the,
Dope.
the newest book is called Lessons for the Little Boy, right?
Yeah. Well, actually, I like to be different. I had two
Okay.
books that just came out recently. I have Lessons for Little Boy and Lessons for Little Girl 2
Okay.
that
Okay.
came out right behind each other. So pick which one you want to talk about first.
Well, because let's talk about Lessons for the Little Boy
Yeah.
because I think that the title is grabbing. It grabs me. So I'll let's talk about that.
Okay. So my first book was published in 2014, Lessons for Little Girl.
Mhm.
I jokingly say I don't birth people, I birth books. And so this was my first baby, my daughter, Lessons for Little Girl
Mhm.
1. It came out of a honestly the story. I was asked to speak at an international youth conference back in 2013 ish, and I had a mentor at the time that was saying that you have to leave something with the people. And we've all been to conferences, whether it was at church or an empowerment conference or whatever,
Right.
and we're able to go home with something. And so, you know, it's nice to have T-shirts and pens and water bottles, but I wanted to really leave the young people with something. And so I didn't really know what to do. And so I was literally just, I've always been a journaler, and I was flipping through my journal and I was like, wait a minute. And literally, this book is our pages from my journal.
Nice.
Literally. At the time, I had a radio show in Chicago with my very dear friend Alicia Bowens called The Love Perspective. We were on I will say WCIU. No, that's where I worked. Um, we were on 102.3, and we had a radio show, and we had a publisher come on. Shout out to my publisher, Mr. Glenn Murray, and 220 Publishing, and he was talking about being a publisher and how people can become authors. And the whole time, you know, it's just like this thought nagging you on the back of your head, like,
Right.
about your book, tell him about your book. And I'm like, he's not gonna like it. I don't have no money to publish a book. Just all that self-doubt we do, right?
Mhm.
And so I couldn't ignore the voice anymore. And I ended up telling him about the book, sent it to him. Long story short, he loved it. And it's one of the fastest growing books in 220 publishing history at that time.
Nice.
When I was at a book signing at a church, they actually had a comedy show, and I was a vendor, and this gentleman walked up to me and he said, I said, okay, sir, who would you like to make the book out to? Your wife, your daughter? He was like, to me. And so I, you know, it kind of took me aback a little bit because it's a book for women, you know.
Yeah.
And he said, if there's something in here for women, I know it's something that men can learn from too. And it was in that moment that the concept of Lessons for Little Boy was born. That was 6 years ago. And it literally has taken me 6 years to find the right man, to understand why God had given me that assignment. I'm not a man. Like, why are you asking me to create a platform for men to be able to talk about their experiences and what they need in life and the lessons that they learned or they wish they had learned earlier, things that they're still learning. And then I realized the reason it had to be me was because God did an amazing work in my relationship with my father, and how my parents got divorced when I was very young. And so I always knew who my dad was. He was always around, but not as involved as I wanted him to be, because divorce just changes the dynamics of family sometimes. And but full circle, me and my dad had a full circle opportunity. There are no regrets. I miss my daddy horribly, but we talked about everything. All forgiveness was given for all things of the past. I was able to tell him how much I loved him. We were able to talk about the mistakes we both made, and both me as a daughter, him as a father.
Mhm.
And I recognize that oftentimes women, I'm not beating up on us, but sometimes we can make it difficult for men to be vulnerable.
Sure. Yeah.
We don't always support them the way that
Amen. Amen.
Yeah.
we don't give
We
them the
think we do, but
we really don't.
yeah, we don't.
Especially us sisters, we do. We're a little hard on men, and I can say that. We expect them to be men and to be strong and to be providers and to be there for us, but we don't necessarily give them the safe space emotionally
Yeah.
to be able to have those weak moments so that they can go out and then gain the strength to go out and be strong again. And
Mhm.
so this book gives me an opportunity as a woman to be an ally for men. But it really creates a beautiful platform for men to be able to talk about. My authors are 23 to 65. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful display. And I'm not saying that because it was my vision, but like literally, these guys shared their heart about how difficult it is being a man. And one gentleman talks about losing his mom and how he had to then take care of the person that took care of him his whole life, and
Oh, wow.
how that changed him. And they talk about divorce and love and faith. And one of my favorite chapters, or I guess I can't say because they're all my favorite, but this one gentleman talks about being a girl dad. He has all daughters, and how that changed him and his dynamic, and being a father, and how he creates a world for his women in his life. And so it's a beautiful insight to what we don't always get to see as women, to the mind of a man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my baby. I love it.
Peace, you got a question? I mean, I got a few of them, but you got a question too?
Well, you know what? One of my questions was gonna be like, you kind of answered it talking about the book was like, did you get any pushback with writing a book for men? And because people will see that, like, you're not a man, how would you know? But it's good to hear that you did have men involved
Yeah.
to help you tell a story, so they can, so guys, so anybody that's listening, she did have men involved to
Well,
help
look,
even women. Do you get any
I literally get this question all the
Yeah.
time. He's all the time like, well,
Yeah.
what you got to say?
Mhm.
Literally, my part in the book is so small. Like
Yeah.
literally, I welcome the men to the opportunity to do self-reflection. I share a very personal story of my father, and I'll go into it a little bit with you guys that I didn't go into in the book. I was in college, and my dad and I were sitting there. I'll never forget, it was after church. We were sitting in the car and we were talking, and I was just kind of like beating up on my dad, very honestly, like, well, you weren't there and I went through so much, and I went to 3 proms, you were not there for any of them. I was just kind of giving them the riot act.
Mm-hmm.
And I shared something. I am a sexual assault survivor, and I was even sharing that with my father and how he wasn't there, and a girl's supposed to be able to run home to her daddy and tell her about the bad guys and the pain that she's gone through, and you weren't there. And I suffered from so a lot of emotional damage from that, and how I used to be very suicidal. I mean, very honestly, even in college, I attempted to take my life. And so I was sharing this stuff with my dad, and he began to share times in his life that he was suicidal.
Mm.
Mm.
And that kind of like took me back. And so, but in that moment, I was like, well, what about me? What about me? And like, God gave me an opportunity to hear me. Like, I was able to hear myself. This man is sharing something that was not easy. What? How many Black men that tell you that they have struggled with suicide or thought
Yeah.
of it? You know what I mean? And so I had to like stop in that moment and allow my dad to be vulnerable. And I had to then change this very aggressive, antagonizing space to be a space of comfort and support.
Yeah.
Listen to my dad. And so we ended up literally making a commitment that day that suicide was not an option, no matter how things were ever bad we would get. And it was such a bonding moment for me and my father.
Yeah.
So I opened the book. I didn't go into that much detail as I did with you guys, but I talk about that story, and then I move out the way. And then for the next 13 chapters, it's all the men. And then I just come back at the back of the book and I congratulate the men for taking a journey of self-reflection. I'm a huge self-reflection enthusiast, and I believe deeply. I live by a mantra of I write, willingly risking introspection for transformation and elevation. And
Mhm.
so I deeply believe in self-reflection, meditation,
Yeah,
prayer, journaling, because
too.
I think that the answers are here, but we can't hear them. And that's what the little boy and little girl are symbolic of, is just your inner self.
Yeah.
When you were fearless, when you were courageous, when you were
Yeah.
willing to be and do anything, but then we become adults and we have responsibilities, and we're trying to get a wife and get a husband and get some kids and get a title and get the office in the corner, that we lose ourselves in the midst of trying to get all of these things. And so my books are really just an opportunity for you to go back and get you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's dope. I mean, I think when I was listening to, your relationship with your dad, and my dad, he's a girl dad. So he has four girls, and it's just, but it's interesting when you get older, you realize you have to forgive your parents. And this is like I feel like I have the best dad ever, right? But my
Mhm.
dad didn't have his dad, right? And so that was a burden that he carried for a long time that made him angry. And I'm sure kind of tailored how he probably parented us.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we forget that our parents are learning in real time. Like they don't they're growing too. They're getting older. And so we look at them as like this all encompassing know everything, but they don't know everything. They're still elevating, as you just said, they're still growing. And so we have to give them that space and that forgiveness and that grace to be like, you know what, it wasn't ideal, but it was the best that you knew at that time. And so it's kind of dope
Do
that
you
you
have
guys
kids?
have that.
Do
I
you have
don't.
kids? Yeah, I don't either. But
uh,
so, Coach, I know you got two amazing children. Um, but Tish, you've been through situations that you've never been in before, right? Whether it's
mhm,
this podcast when you guys first
true.
started, work environments, and when you're in it, you're doing the best you can for where you are.
Mm.
Mhm.
I had to learn that for both of my parents, because
Yeah.
I recognized that that was my truth. So what
Mhm.
makes them any different,
Right.
And so,
Right.
and and my siblings and I, we're all very different,
Mhm.
very very different. Like I am, me and my second brother. Well, I guess me and my brothers, we all have similarities, of course, but like I am the, out there, want to know everybody, want to meet everybody. My second brother's like that too. We called him the mayor because my brother know everybody. Uh, but my sister, she's more of an introvert, deep thinker, the responsible one. Even in caretaking for my dad literally used to call her the boss, and he would
Mhm.
call me the baby. Like I was the fun one. I
Yeah.
was sneaking him donuts in the hospital, going
Yeah.
to get margaritas when we get released. you
Yeah.
know. But she was like, Dad can't eat this, he can't, so we were
Yeah.
so very different. So how do you parent four extremely different people? You know what I
Absolutely.
mean?
Right.
And you have to be sensitive, because we all, as a parent, needed something different from our parents. And
Mhm.
so you're right, that grace and forgiveness is so necessary. Not only for them, but we need it too. We need to ask them to forgive us.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Now I know, Jamie. You said the men who contributed to the book. You said the ages were from like what 23 and
65.
up.
Yeah.
Oh, so like I know when it comes to self reflection, I know men like my age group, 40 and over. That's hard for us because growing up we were taught that as a man you're supposed to deal with whatever you're going through and just deal with it and get
Yeah.
over it. And since the guys that contributed to this book, do you feel like were you more surprised the ages who were able to get their thoughts out and be so self-reflective, or were you just like, you know what, this is what I expected. This is going to help older men, guys who stuck in their ways, and this is going to help young guys be able to be more expressive.
So that's a great question. I didn't know what I was gonna get. I'm gonna be
Okay.
very honest, because here's the thing: there were some people I really wanted in the book that
Mhm.
bailed out on me. I had one gentleman in particular who came to me in tears, telling me he couldn't be in the book because he just wasn't ready. Now,
Mhm.
mind you, I didn't give them any stipulation. There was only one man that I told him what I wanted him to write about, and
Okay.
that's the girl dad. I wanted him to talk about that.
Okay.
Um, I needed that story. Number one, it brought to me more validity to my presence in the book, and I wanted to kind of show the dynamics of that father-daughter relationship, since my father was no longer here to talk about that. And so that was the only person that had, like, this is what I want. Everybody else, whatever you feel led to share with the world. That was all I said to them. I didn't give them a number count. I didn't give them how many pages. I said, write until you feel like you're done.
Okay.
And the variety that I received, I had one, I'm not gonna call him out, I'm not gonna call the author out, but this is like my brother. He is so smart, and when he first submitted his writing years ago, because he was one of the first people I asked, it was all this, it was all brain. And I was like frustrated with him. I said, dude, can you not give me your head, give me your heart? Like,
Yeah.
you're trying to be very like analytical. Like, don't nobody want to read that. Like, they need to know the emotion of you. And you're sitting here trying to be this professor. Get this out of here.
Right.
He was like, well, that's what that's what I felt led to give. And I was like, well, whatever. And I was torn. Well, of course, time happens, life happened, and it was time to focus on the book again. So I resent him what he sent me. I said, just look at it again. Tell me, because things have changed. At the time, I don't know, I think maybe he had one child and now he had another son, and so I'm like, go back and look at it. And he's like, Jamie, why did you let me send you this? I said, well, that's what you said you wanted to give. So sometimes people have to go back and reflect on their own experiences to get a new vantage point.
Yeah.
And so for me, it was just, there was very little editing that needed to be done, honestly. Like, I just allowed the men, I didn't want to try to steer the boat. I wanted the boat to lead us on a journey. And that's what I allowed their words to do. Like, there was very, very little that I took out. And if I did, it was just because I wanted to kind of maybe make it go with the chapter before, because they're all very different stories. But it was very little taken out of the books. That I am so grateful for their vulnerability. And it was there's only one 20-year-old in the book. Everybody else is, now look, it's over 40.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
That's good.
So, yeah.
That's good. That's
yeah.
good.
So you're talking, we have black men, we have white men, we have, married people, single people, because there it is. So it's a wide variety. We have professors, architects, business owners, marathon runners, pastors, a bishop is in here. That's my uncle. That's my mama, baby brother. My uncle played in the NFL, and now he's he owns car dealerships, and so it talks about his transition from an athlete to a business owner, and how he has to raise his sons, and so it's
super dope.
It's like, nothing against my girl books, nothing against the girl books. This book just holds a very special place in my heart, because especially I understand, I guess it's the trend now to talk about men's mental health, and it's always been the trend, it's always been necessary, and
absolutely.
So anything that I can do to try to help in that, to create that platform for men, then I'm just honored to be a part of. Yeah.
That's dope.
That's dope, because like you said, it's a trend. I hope it doesn't just stay trendy. You know what I'm saying? It's like you said, it's been a thing. Like, I feel like a lot of our men, they haven't felt the security to be able to express themselves. So to have, definitely to see so many older men, I knew that was hard for them, because I know, like, as much as my daddy loved me, I know for a shadow of a doubt, like, my dad loves all of us, but he's not expressive like that. We didn't say, like, he wasn't huggy. He didn't do all of that. But I know for sure, if I call my daddy for anything, he's Johnny on the spot, right? But I think it's so dope that those men were comfortable to share their story. So I definitely gonna get that, because I think that's a story that I want to read, and I want to share with my dad too, because I think he needs to hear that. He needs to see it. So
he needs to know that his emotions matter. Like, a lot of times men think that we feel like we need them from a provider standpoint.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, you guys, this is kind of the dynamics of, like, me losing my father. My father passed 2 months after my godfather passed. So every man that's ever raised me is gone. My grandfathers, my godfather, and my daddy. And as an unmarried woman with no children, that left me in a very weird mental space, feeling uncomfortable. Feeling uncovered. I have my uncle still very much, but the dynamics of our relationship is very different. Like I love my uncle. If I needed anything, he's there. But he wasn't around like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And so I have especially my one brother. He always thought he was my other daddy anyway. But I think it's so necessary. If I could say anything, that this book is not only important for men to know that your mental health matters to us, because I definitely deeply believe that we are only as good as we can be to ourselves, then we can be to each other. I mean, the Bible talk about that. Love your neighbor as you love yourself.
Yeah.
You can only give out what you have. And so
Right.
it's necessary to do that internal work so you can have a healthy projection to the rest of the world. But the other dynamic, which is, I think that is beautiful, that is picking up, there are so many. Do you know some of some of the most feedback that I get from this book is from women?
Interesting. What kind of feedback do they like? What are they saying?
Oh my God, I wasn't aware that men went through this.
Okay.
Oh my God, I didn't think about it that way, because we're built differently. We got different body parts, so clearly we function differently, right?
Mhm.
And so I think being able to have that conversation with you, because women, we like to give the details, right?
Mhm.
You can relate. You're a bullet point, like just what's the point? What's the point? We got to build the story. We got to tell you what it was sunny outside, and
Mhm.
that woman had on a red shirt. None of that stuff matters to the men. They like
Absolutely.
Black and white. Oh, great.
You're right. Let's get to it. And so I think that being able to be built differently is necessary to give those vantage points, so that way we can be better husbands, be better wives, be better friends. Like when I tell you, Coach talked about how I was always around the guys. Living in Cody Hall, anybody that went to Lewis University is immediately they're gonna be like, oh, like, Cody Hall was an experience, and I was a peer minister for Cody Hall. Cody Hall used to be an all male dorm. Lewis decided to make it a co-ed dorm.
Oh boy.
And so let me add to it. That's the dorm where Lewis was not an African American HBCU experience at all, right? Right? So that's where most of your black people live, the black guys live. That's where your fraternity guys live and your athletes. So you can just imagine the energy of this building, right? I'm about to be ready to teach. You're not ready. You're not ready. Guys lived on the third floor. The girls lived on the second floor, and the guys lived on the first floor.
Oh yeah, that was a sandwich.
More ways than one, right?
Yeah.
I was the only deacon in the dorm.
And if you was the only deacon, yeah.
Really, Corey?
Only deacon.
I'm going into this building as the peer minister. We didn't have RAs back then. And so, but essentially that's what the peer minister did. We wanted, if there was any problems in the building, they would come tell me if they needed spiritual support.
That sounds what I would have been.
I go to Cody,
Yeah. Sign me up.
But I was always around the guys, even back then, just because number one, Corey has his friends are like, I have to say I'm blessed. I went to school with some really dope guys, like just really, really down to earth guys. Now there was some slime balls down there too, but for the most part, like just really good. I mean, still solid individuals to this day. And so I would literally, and Corey could test, I would just sit on the floor in the hallway and just watch them interact with each other. And I would sit there, and I would usually be eating some ice cream or something, or some fudgsicles or something, and just be sitting there and watching their dynamics with each other, and watched how they checked each other. I'm not gonna put his name out there, but one of my favorite stories is when Corey, one of your friends, went through a heartbreak. How he would just play Boys to Men.
Hilarious.
Put my boy out
yeah,
there.
yeah.
But I mean, you could hear it through the whole building. I mean, but that's just to show his. And if you saw this guy, you wouldn't think he was a softie like that.
I gotta know who that is now. I'm gonna have to message y'all after the show.
If you tell us on you, I'm not telling. But it was good for me. I mean, I think that that's where a lot of lessons for the little boy truly was born, was in college, just watching these men interact and become men, true men, and venture off into, and we would have some of the dopest conversations about relationship and life, even back then, and just our dynamics as African Americans in the world, and what our various degrees were, and I mean, even helping each other recognize, like, that's not a healthy relationship for you. Why you dating her, or why you dating him?
Right.
And I was the girl with mystique. Nobody knew, because I came in as a sophomore, and everybody was like,
Right.
"What? Who is she?" And then look here, Tisha, ready? This is the kind of like trouble I like to start. My first day of school, I wore a shirt that said "So Anxious."
Oh boy. Oh yeah, they was like, oh yeah.
So here's the thing. So this how bad, like, this is crazy. So the first day, nobody knew who she was.
Mhm.
So everybody refers to her as the girl with the sword.
I'm sure.
That's crazy. That's just so crazy. Nobody knew her name. Nobody knew what year she was. Nobody knew where she lived at. It was just Ajo, old girl working the cab. It's so anxious. That's crazy, man. That's crazy.
Everybody still say that.
Mark, right? I love Mark because I was a transfer student, so they didn't know if I was a freshman. They didn't know if I was a side, and I just sat back. I said in the middle of the I was very strategic. I said in the middle of the cafeteria with this white shirt with blue letters on, and people walking past, and I just was sitting there, and I always had a friendly face, so it wasn't like I had the stank face, like don't come bother me.
Right.
Brian Craig was the first person that ever talked to me at Lewis. He came up and was like, "So."
Shout out to BC, my homie BC. Shout out to BC.
Yeah, and he was just like, "So, what's your name? Where you from? Who,
Yeah.
And I guess he went back and gave a report like, "She cool, y'all. She cool."
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
So,
my boys. Go ahead.
So Jamie, before we let you out of here, we always ask our guests this question.
Okay. Nervous.
Because I know, first of all, I know you would be good for this question because you love R&B. You're a music lover too. You love music.
That's true.
So give us your top five, your top five favorite R&B artists.
Always and Forever. Marvin Gaye.
Okay.
Always and Forever. Just because I was in love with him when I was a little girl. I've always liked older men. I need to go to counseling. I was talking to my mom about this. My second person would be Prince.
Prince, okay. That's two.
Somebody asked me the other day, what was the first movie you ever remember watching? Like, go back to, I was like, I said Purple Rain. It was like, what? I said, I don't know why. Shouldn't have been watching Purple Rain, but I was. Prince, Marvin Gaye. Only five? That's difficult. I would probably say I have a new appreciation for, and not for the reasons y'all think I'm gonna say Tank.
Three. Okay. That's a good one.
That's my boo.
Tank.
Okay.
Tank is very smart. I love listening to him talk, which makes me love his music even more.
Yeah.
Number three would have to be.
He's four. You're on four now.
Am I Prince?
Mm-hmm. Prince.
Four. So number four would have to be. Oh God! Single artist or group?
Don't matter.
Jodeci.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Jodeci.
All right. Okay.
Jodeci got me in a lot of trouble when I was younger.
After party.
No, wait a minute. I ain't even going to a story about that. I had 3 copies of that CD. I had to get rid of them. Me and the Lord had to. Josie. And the last one would probably be, you know who else I really like? And I don't feel bad for saying this, but he's so dope. Chris Brown.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Like
I think you're the
musicality,
first person that said Marvin Gaye and Chris Brown.
Yeah,
huh?
you're the first person ever. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that you're the first person that's
Yeah.
mentioned Marvin Gaye and Chris Brown. So
Yeah. You are.
Yeah.
You're the first.
I,
yeah,
I blame my nieces for my love for Chris Brown.
Chris
Mhm.
Brown is dope.
Yeah, he is. Like if you they compare him a lot to like Michael Jackson and stuff, and people get no, he's not. But if you really study Chris Brown's story and how involved he is in his music,
Mhm.
Mhm.
yeah. So Chris Brown, I'll give it to him.
Okay. I like your five. Your five. I like. Her five was different. I like her.
Yeah. That's why I say yours definitely was different. So
Yeah, because I span many generations. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So
mhm.
yeah. So
Yeah.
So,
okay.
so, so,
Well,
Jamie.
I
So,
appreciate
Jamie, where can we find your book, and where can we follow you on social media?
my look. I tell people all the time I'm too old to be, sexy caramel 79. I'm just too old. I am Jamie A. Gill everywhere. As you see my name on the screen, that is, and for those that are listening, it is spelled Jaime.
Mhm.
I say keep me together. It is not Jamie, it is Jamie.
I know that's right.
And I'm everywhere the same way: TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. My website is jamieagill.com. What you see currently will be changing shortly because the update after I add the new book up there, and there'll be some. My blog will be starting soon. I'm actually starting my podcast back, so
Okay. All right.
podcast
All
channel
right.
with you guys very soon. So yeah, Jamie Gill everywhere. Who you hear on this radio show today on this podcast is the same person you'll meet in person. I have been consistently the same person my whole life. I mean, I've evolved, of course, but like I'm just, as LL Cool J used to say, I'm just a round the way girl. You know what I mean? Bamboo earrings and extensions in my hair. Like that's
I
me.
know.
Oh man. But Jamie, I appreciate you. Thank you for giving us your
For
time.
sure.
Coach.
We
Thank you.
definitely
Nice
appreciate it.
you. When I get to Chicago next week, if for free, I would love to connect with you guys. Even if it's just, just for a brief, cup of coffee or, a glass of wine. All
Cool.
Yes,
That
that
sounds
sounds
good.
dope. That sounds dope.
Hey,
right.
and
Tell,
make sure
tell
you
Tammy I said, hey,
say hello to your mom for me too.
I will. I will. My mom always liked you. I don't know why.
He
Because
don't know better.
I always was nice to her daughter.
Was. I'll give that up. There are very few people you meet. You meet some people in college, they have a hidden agenda. That was
Mhm.
never Coach. Like Coach always was Coach, and so I thank you for that, for being just a dope male platonic friend that I could always, even to this day, I know that if I needed to come to you about anything, I really appreciate that because of the foundation that was built when we were in college. So salute to you, my friend.
Salute to you.
So nice.
All right, there, Jay. Thank you, Jay, and good night. We appreciate you.
Thank you. It was so nice
Guys.
to meet
Oh,
you.
Tease, I didn't answer your question. My books are available everywhere books are sold. BarnesandNoble.com, Amazon.com, Walmart.com, Books a Million. So they literally, if they can reach out to, or if they want to reach out to me personally, I can have some provided for them as well. So
Definitely. We're definitely gonna provide the links and stuff when we post the episode. So for sure.
thanks, love.
Mhm.
All right,
Thank
talk
you
to you
so
guys.
much.
All right, Jay.
All right.
Bye bye. Boom.
Oh,
God did.
God did. That was dope. That was
That was
dope.
dope. That was dope. That
It
was
was
dope.
definitely. I love. I don't know. You know how you can just get like good vibes from people, and you can
Mhm.
feel they like spirit through. What people say they vibrations and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, she seems real passionate about the subject matter, but I can tell that she's sincere. So yeah,
Yes. That was good. That
I'm
was good.
definitely gonna check it out because like I said, I just think I think sometimes we as black women, like I said, we think that I don't think it's we're trying to, you know what I'm saying? Like, because
Mhm.
we still got a lot of healing to do, right? But I think we think we're providing these safe spaces based upon our perception of what we think it should be,
Right.
not necessarily what men want or what
Okay.
they need, you know what I'm saying? So that's something that we have to get away from is listening to them and taking their word for it. You know what I'm saying? And not trying to put our twist on what we think it how it should look for this man's safe space. He's telling you.
Mhm. He's
Take it
telling.
away. Guys are really literal. Like
Yep.
y'all really don't it's not that complicated. Like usually if a guy says that, it's really pretty much what it
It's
is.
it's
Yeah.
really literal. Listen,
Yeah.
sandwich, sports,
Yeah.
mouth. That's it.
Well,
That's
okay.
it. Just
You
it's
you
that.
always we just had this wonderful conversation with, just normal, and you just had to bring the dirt.
That's normal. You just said guys are literal. That's normal.
Listeners, where just pray for coach, he can't
Well,
he
listen. I want to talk about. We got to talk about this before we leave. We got to talk about this Amanda Seals, her comments. Now you know me,
you hate Amanda.
but I used to love her.
I did too.
I used to love her. I really used to love
Oh,
Amanda.
like I used to love her. Yeah.
Yeah, but then I don't know, something happened, over the years. She just started saying some off the wall stuff. So that to me sounded like she was attacking men sometime. But hey, well, she's back in the she's trending again, and I think that's what she
Mhm.
wants. Um,
Probably.
she says marriage is not the goal for her.
Mhm.
She said women, the ideology of marriage being the goal is no longer. So Tease, you're a woman, of course. Does she speak for you?
No.
Okay.
And here's the thing. It's not even so much that I'm someone that wants to get married, right?
Right.
It's just the idea that you can't she said that it's we live in a different era, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I agree. But the thing is though, bro, it's just like with a lot of stuff, like with a lot of things that we saw in the past, like people are painting this negative picture
Right.
across the board it's when the reality is there's a portion of marriages that didn't work, but there's a great amount that did.
Of
There's
course.
a great
Of course.
amount, there's a great value in it, right? And so if you can't see the value in it, that's fine. But I hate painting those broad pictures, bro, and putting negativity on stuff that may not be. Like I said, I'm someone. My parents still alive. My grandparents was together for almost 60 years. Like, a lot of people that I know are divorced, but a lot of people I know that are still married too, right? So it's my thing about a question about not or my apprehension about marriage and stuff now is more so with age, not because I don't think it's a value in it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that goal changes. You can say that you don't want to marry somebody, but if you meet a guy that's awesome and he wants to get married, your ass is getting married. Period.
Of course. I agree with you.
And I think people, when I look at the comments, bro, to be honest, I feel like people, it's a cop out for some ladies, because we just ain't met the person that wants to be married. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And I understand it's not. We don't live in a time where people promote marriage. You know what I'm saying? Because we live in an individual society where everybody wants to be self elevated and they don't see the need to be connected, you know what I'm saying, in partnership. And I understand, like, people always say, well, if you get married, you can do you don't have to get married to have a beneficiary and to leave assets to your kids and your loved ones and all that stuff. I get it, but it's more to me, like I said, it's more of the spiritual value to me of being connected with somebody and being on one accord and being able to operate together as a unit and to grow together, have companionship.
Together.
I think that's dope. I
Yeah.
still think it's dope. And even if that's not my mindset right now, that doesn't mean that I wouldn't be open to it. I think I promise you, bro, I think a lot of it has to do with just because right now in the society, it's just like a lot of people have negative comments about marriage. And I think that's just some people, they don't want to. And that's fine. Just say that don't work for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I guarantee you most women, all these women that be having these city girls and people like her, all of them got dudes at home. All these billionaires, very, very few of them are single.
True
Oprah
that.
was stagnant for 50 years. Okay. That
Yeah.
she may not have been married, but we don't even know. They could be secret married for all we know. We really don't know. You know what I'm
Never
saying?
know.
But the people in the comments, they were saying, yeah, marriage ain't a goal, but you do want to be with somebody. Like we were people were designed to be together. Like we were
I
designed
believe that.
we were
I believe
designed to operate together, and you can't separate that. So that's just my thoughts on it. She don't speak for me, like I said, and I'm not somebody that push getting married in that sense. But to me, like I said, I think if I was in a healthy relationship, that would be a goal. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not in a relationship right now, so I don't. That's not my thought process. But like I said, you meet your dope guy that you're dating, and he's someone that wants to commit to your level. There's nothing gonna stop me from. I'm not as many people I know that's divorced. I know as many that's still married. So
me too. Same
I
here
don't,
with me.
I'm not
Same here with
deterred by it because of what I saw. It's just like for me, I'm afraid of being like, damn, I'm in my 40s. I'm kind of set my ways. You know what I'm saying? Like, am I gonna be able to
right.
come out of myself and
Right.
you can't be selfish in a relationship. You can't be selfish in a marriage because it's about the unit. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? And I want that. I say that with my mouth, like I want that, but when it comes down to it, can I really effectively do that at this age? I think I can, but I don't
I
know.
know you. I know you
I don't
can.
know.
Me knowing you, if I know you all my life, I know you can.
Yeah.
The thing with Amanda Seals that bothers me as a man is that you can't you can't speak for all women
Mm-mm.
because you feel like this works for you.
Yeah.
Because her examples were that back in the day, grandma and great grandma got married for finances, financial reasons. But
Sure.
nowadays, women making money too. That's great.
Yeah.
So for me, that's even better.
Mm-hmm.
I'm married to a woman that's driven, ambitious.
Mm-hmm.
She has goals. She wants to obtain a goal of a certain amount of income. Well,
Mm-hmm.
hell, me too. Both
Absolutely.
of us together can build something great
That's
together.
right.
It
That's
doesn't have to be about a business. Like
right.
like I have a problem when people say marriage is a business. Well, listen, if you go into it like that, then that's what it's going to be. But
Absolutely.
but if you go into it because I truly want a partner, I
Mm-hmm.
want the companionship, I want the love, then that's what it'll be.
Yep.
Because like you said, I know more people that are married than I do divorced.
Sure.
I
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
but people don't promote that, bro. They promote the negativity. And like I said, when I look at the comments, to me, I don't want to bash women because people have different stories to where they got to where they got. You know what I'm saying? The way
yeah,
they think about marriage and stuff. But I think these ladies, if we were in a time where men and I can't say that because I still know guys proposing to women.
yeah,
Yes, you just may not have been, and again, it's not overwhelming like it used to be. Where I understand people got married back in the day because they had they wanted to. The man needed somebody to come home to take care
yeah.
of them and all
Take
that.
care of how, yeah,
It
yeah.
was a different time, and it was different. But there were women that still worked then too. You know what I'm
True,
saying? Like
true.
she made her my grandma worked. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
it, but her money was just extra though. Like men were okay with bringing home the bacon and here's the check. You do what you gotta do, take care of the house, and that's what it is. You know what I'm
that's
saying?
what it
That's
is.
and they were okay with that. Like I just think that we were forced for various reasons from being separated from our families from from for opportunities for women opening up and then so many of our men being incarcerated to so many of them
Mhm.
just it's I think about a couple weeks ago when our friends on the show you got a quarter of men that's of all women bro right of your pickings, you got one third that's in jail. You
Mhm.
got one third that's already taken, and you
Mhm.
got one third that don't like women. So
Mhm.
we had a shortage because it's more women than men. So
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
think I think some women are we are we kind of like gave up hope about the marriage thing. And so you put this negative conversation on it, like it ain't the goal no more. Like, cause you're forced to be independent and you're forced to do it. But listen, I I always say this because I've been working as long as I can remember. From the first time I had a summer job at 14 to now, right? And I've been out of my parents' house since I was 22.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been independent a long time. But if I was with somebody that wants to take to ease the pressure of me having to pay my rent every on the first, listen.
You'll love it. You'll welcome it.
So
You'll welcome it.
I'll welcome it. Like Babyface said, I'll buy your clothes, I'll cook your food, I'll wash your clothes. Cause listen, you're taking off that pressure for me to have to do that. So I don't mind being domestic. I don't mind doing that because you're giving me the space to I don't that's one thing I ain't gotta worry about. And I really think most guys that I've dated or that I know, it's just something about men in their position in the world. And I feel like how they are designed, how you guys are designed to where they like that. They like providing. Just sure they don't want it's pressure, but I feel like, and it's stressful because sometimes you don't want to disappoint, right? But I think in general, I think most men y'all made for it a little bit different than we are. You know what I'm saying?
We built a little
We
different. It's
built a
not
little bit
not
different.
to be
So
chauvinist, not to say we're superior.
absolutely.
It's just we're just built. We're wired differently. We're wired to provide for
Mhm.
the woman we care about or the children we bring into this world. It's just that's how we wire it. Now, I granted there are some who don't do that. We know that,
Sure. Yeah.
but the overall, like you just said, men. I do believe men are wired, like you just said, to be providers.
Yeah. I don't know any and maybe that's because, like I said, my dad was adamant about us not, you know, dating bums. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like,
yeah.
it's just because his thought process is I take care of my family by my dad had 2 or 3 jobs sometime, you know what I'm
There you
saying?
go.
And he took care of his family the best way he could. We wasn't rich, but we wasn't poor either. You know what I'm
He
saying?
he
And
did it the best way he could, like we just
he
talked.
did it the
Yeah,
best way he
best
could,
way.
best way in
Right.
just to make sure we're taken care of. So his
Right.
mind is he don't to this day, he don't understand men who don't do that
I
because he
understand.
grew up in a different sense and he didn't have his dad. You know what I'm saying? So he grew
I
up with
understand.
uncles that worked and he grew up just being around other men that took care of the family. So he can't comprehend me dating a guy and being like, you figure it out. Like if my dad knew I took to talk to a man that was like that, I can't because that's little stuff that dads you're gonna see it as your daughter start dating.
Yeah.
That's the stuff that dads look at without looking at. They want to know that you marry my daughter, she shouldn't call me. She supposed to call you. If you still if unless the guy is not available, if I call my dad before, if I'm telling dad this is my man, right? And this my guy, dad, right? And if I call my dad for something before I call his man, he gonna ask, why you ain't did you call so and so? And I'll be like, yeah, whatever. Like he still does that. And I'll be
Yeah.
like, well, so and so, whatever. Because he's thinking, why are you calling that your man and he can't be your man?
Gonna be a
Don't
man.
call me or don't tell me that's your man. Because your
Right.
man's supposed to take care of you. Your man's supposed to, to make you feel secure. If you still calling me, that ain't your man. And if he sees the guy, he's gonna make him feel that way. And he old school. I'm not saying it's the right thing to do, but he's
He
going
old school. He an old school guy.
old school and
Yeah.
he's just going to challenge that man like you like he think he a simp
That's why.
and he'll probably teach you that way.
That's why guys like me, other guys, we raised off of that old school mentality.
Yeah,
Because a
I
lot
ain't
of
let that go. I don't care. Amanda them can have that shit. I
yeah.
believe. I don't want. I believe in that old and everything that's old school ain't good, but some traditions I ain't trying to change that. I'm sorry.
Listen. Let me tell you something. This is a personal story. I'm gonna share it with the podcast. You probably already know it, but when I first when I first got out of college, I had no job.
Mm-hmm.
Go back home, and it's cool. I was back home with my parents. I'm sure if I asked my parents for something, I could get it. But at the
Sure.
time, I was 20, 22 years old. I had a girlfriend who was now my wife. She had a job. She
Mm-hmm.
came out of school making like almost $30,000 a year, which was a lot of money back
That
in
time for sure.
2002.
Yeah.
So, and she was single, no kids. So it really hurt me as a man to ask her to give me some money to get my hair cut.
Right.
It hurt me as a man to really ask her to, and let me get some money because me and my homie Damien want to go out to the
Yeah.
club. That hurt me as a
Yeah.
man. But again, I was raised that, you know what? When I do get a job, you know what? I ask her for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever she want to do, she can come ask me. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
give it to her. I'm gonna find a way to give it to her.
Yeah.
That's how I was raised.
Yeah.
I don't understand the mentality of a man that wants to lean on a woman.
Yeah. I don't get it either.
Unless, now keep in mind, unless that man can't work because of something physical. I understand that. I get it. But what my man say, the Judge Mathis,
Mm-hmm.
if this Negro got two working legs, two working arms, what the hell he doing at home waiting on a woman to give him something? Hey,
Right.
that's the hey, I'm with the judge. I'm with the judge.
I'm with you there too, bro. I'm with you there. And I think, like I said, I think some of us women, we're in a position where we have to take care of ourselves because we're single, right? And but again, like I said, I would definitely prefer. I can't wait till the day till I can be in partnership. It ain't even the sense of that so much that I just gonna be stopped working because I've been working for so long. I feel like I probably couldn't not work. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like
yeah,
you said, to me, it's more of a partnership where I feel like
yeah.
it's just us merging together for a greater goal, right? So a bigger thing where we're helping each other fulfill each other's dreams. So it's just like maybe I don't have to work as hard because we got two salaries. His salary bigger than mine, or it may be smaller than mine, but he's a man that's like, I got this. And as long as he's like that, I'm gonna try to do my best to be like I can support him in that. I don't want to
Mm-hmm.
make his life harder when he's bringing home, what I'm saying, the bacon. I wasn't raised in the house like that. You know what I'm
That's
saying? So
like that's why the whole you hear these arguments like the man should pay all the bills. That's to me, that's fine if that's
yeah,
what works for y'all
for your
dynamic.
house, yeah,
But for
yeah,
everybody, that's not a reality.
it's not a reality,
So
bro.
let's not always lump that into that's
No,
the way it should be. No, it's
no.
everybody's different. It's
Everybody's different. It
it's
could be he
it's
could
something
say,
to
I'll
do
pay.
that.
I feel like you said, bro, it to me, it's like it's the partnership of what works best for y'all.
Yeah,
So we at this age, I got big bills. It's to me, if I meet somebody now, I got a heavy load of student that I ain't dumping on him unless he just rich and be like, I'll pay that shit off, right?
yeah,
Let's just say I ain't married no rich guy, right? I'm
right,
married to a guy
right.
that's working. He worked now on the file, or he got a solid job. He gets paid enough. I don't feel comfortable giving him that debt. I don't feel comfortable giving him my credit card debt. Like that's my shit, right? So if
Yeah,
he says, this is how much our bills cost, this is how much we go put in the pot. Like if he say, I'll take care of this, I'll take care of that. And I bet, okay, I'll pay off this and I'll pay off. Like I just feel like it's whatever works for you. I just don't feel comfortable like throwing all that debt in there. And I don't feel like
it's
it's
true.
not his responsibility. You know what I'm saying? This
It's
is my
true.
shit. You know what I'm saying? So
Like
just
I never forget. Like just before we close, like I never forget. Like going through like the premarital counseling with Pastor Locke.
mm-hmm.
Forget. He looked me in my eye. He was like, "Now, Corey, now if the lights get turned off, if the gas get turned off, ain't nobody gonna look at Samara.
Yeah,
They gonna look at you."
that's right.
And to that day, that never left my train of thought.
That's right.
That's my whole thing. When
That's
stuff
right.
go wrong, nobody looks at the wife.
Yeah. But because I don't think because at the end of the day, I think men, God made y'all the way y'all are in for a reason. And he did give y'all the ability to be leaders in the household for a reason. You know what I'm saying? All this independent shit and we equal. We ain't equal because I don't want to build nothing. Okay. I don't want to build no house. I
Say
don't
it
want
with your chest.
I
Say
don't
it
want
with
to
your
take no
chest. I
garbage
don't
out.
want to build
I
nothing.
don't want to do none of that. So y'all can miss me with that independent equal. I'm not equal. I don't want this shit. If a guy is in my house, can you take the garbage out? Because I don't want to do it. Why am I playing around like I want to do that shit?
Can you
Nobody
wash
wants to do
your car?
that. No, can you wash my car? Can
Can
you
you
do
shovel the
all
snow
that
off
stuff?
my?
Because men like washing cars, right? I
Right.
know guys that wash their car every Saturday and
Yeah.
they love it. You love that shit. Can you wash mine too?
Yeah.
Why am I acting like I want to watch? I don't want to do that. That's silly. That's silliness, and that's like we get so caught up in these accolades. Like I don't, guys don't give a shit about they are degrees, none of that stuff. I'll be forgetting I even have a degree because it don't
Yeah.
matter. It doesn't matter to me, like because what I'm passionate about has nothing to do with my degree.
Right.
It really doesn't. Like I feel
Right.
like it's the degree because I got it because they said we needed one, right? But what I love to do has nothing to do with my degree. Like
With your degree at all. At all.
it doesn't make me who I am. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So she's speaking for she's speaking for herself.
Mm.
And I feel like it's she always say dangerous stuff, bro. It's just like
They
because you
do.
got a group of women that be like, yeah, it's not the goal, but I don't believe it, bro.
Yeah.
I believe women, there are so many women that still want to get married. Some are scared to
Some
be
are scared.
people are scared to tear down those walls and be
Yeah.
submissive because our hearts have been broken. And when you get to our age, it's just like you the trust is hard. So I think that's all it is. Like, you know,
Preach.
I promise you, I believe that if you meet a good guy and he's someone that wants to marry you, you're gonna want to get married because, like I said, you want to be official. Not that you can't be official without that. I'm not trying to miss those words, but you know what I'm saying. I feel like if you meet a good guy,
You want to be.
no
You,
problem.
you want to be, as they say back in the day. You want to be spoken for.
You want to be spoken for. I do. I think it's just something I can't wait to say my husband. Me and my husband going to,
Right.
we going to Turks and Caicos next week. Like, I
That's
can't
right.
wait for those. Or even just my guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we're going. But it is something about like just
That's
being
real. That's real spit. That's real spit.
just being, connect to somebody. And
Yep.
I ain't buying it. I ain't buying what she's telling us on folks say.
There you go.
I ain't bad it. But
Well,
anyway,
hey, this
before we
was a.
leave, I want to say this. This is MJ birthday. Shout
It
out to
sure is.
he's one of my favorite artists of all times. He's probably my favorite one, to be honest. I got, in my top 5, he's probably 1 or 2. I've always been a
I'm
big
with
MJ
you. I'm
fan,
with you
so
on that.
before we go, bro, what's your favorite MJ song?
Woo, man. Woo, you caught me off guard for this
Or
one.
let's do this. Let's do something different. What's your favorite MJ video?
Thriller. It's not even close.
Thriller.
It's not even close. It's not even
Really?
close.
I mean,
I love.
when you was younger, you weren't scared of Thriller.
I was, but as I got older, it's for me. It's 3 videos. It's Thriller. Remember the Time. And the last one is the one where he's walking down the street. Hey, pretty lady, what the hell
Okay.
is
The way you make me
the way you make me
feel.
feel? Those
Yeah.
three, they're my favorite ones.
Okay. So I'll say my favorite videos is Remember the Time.
Okay.
Uh You've been hit by a smooth criminal.
Okay,
He did
smooth
that little lean, and it's what it's hard for me to pick this last one, but it's either Beat It or the one he did with Chris Tucker. You Rock My
Oh
World.
yeah, Rock My
That
World.
video was dope.
Yeah.
I love that video. So so I'll just say that one. You Rock My World. So I'm gonna
Now,
say those my top 3.
it's I don't know what my favorite song is, but I know what's in my top 3, and it's gonna surprise you and a lot of people.
I think I know one of yours
Liberian Girl.
Yeah, I was gonna say you love Liberian Girl.
You know I love that
It's
song.
so odd, bro, that you like that
song.
song.
I love that song, man.
That is so odd. That's so funny that you love that song.
That song is cold. Ever since I heard it, that song, I don't know what it is. It's just cold, man. I love that song. Man.
Oh yeah, that's funny. Yeah, it's hard for me to pick a favorite song, but
it is tough.
It's so tough, bro.
Man.
So
it's tough.
I like a lot of his stuff that he did.
I like a lot of his old stuff. It's tough.
Yeah, I like a lot of stuff with the Jackson. I like stuff he did, the newer things.
Yeah.
Off the Walls probably is in my top 5 favorite albums. So
hey.
I like everything on there. So yeah.
And the most underrated album he ever made was Invincible.
Invincible was good.
I stand
on Invincible was very solid.
Very good.
Invincible was very solid.
Good album. Very good.
Yeah,
very
that was it. So All right, that's all I wanted to mention that before we get out of here. It was a good,
All right, then.
had a
Hey,
good
this
show,
is
bro.
episode
Oh, we lost Coach. I think he was getting ready to say episode 52. If you haven't,
we back. They want to.
yeah, we here.
God did. All right, look.
God did. God got you back, bro. All
God got me back. So
right, I'm sorry.
episode
You
52.
can go ahead, close out.
Episode 52. This was a good show. Shout out again to our guest Jamie for joining the show.
Thanks, Jamie. Thanks, Jamie. Hands
Make
clap for
sure y'all
Jamie.
make sure y'all get her book. Follow
Yes.
her on social media. Um, Make sure y'all follow the podcast. Some of that podcast. Follow the IG page. We need more people to follow the IG page. Keep
IG
leaving
and
comments.
YouTube, y'all subscribe. I think you guys are listening, but I need y'all to subscribe.
Yes, please subscribe and keep leaving comments.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. Once again, we coming back again next week, and we may have a guest, we may not, but again, we got surprises coming for y'all. And obviously, every week we're going to be talking about something, whether it's ratchet or real. We're going to be talking about it.
Some of this, some of that. You never know what we're gonna get,
You
y'all.
never know what we're going to do.
All right, y'all. Y'all have a good week, and we'll see y'all next week.
Peace.
Peace.